Hello, this is That Talking Podcast. I'm JJ Starr.
And I'm Mailman Andy.
Welcome, welcome. We're here to talk and bring some civil discourse to an otherwise discordant world. What's up, Mailman?
I'm disgusted.
What's up, Postman?
I am so gross right now.
Well, you had the opportunity to clean yourself up.
No, because we put off recording Saturday. We put off recording Sunday.
And we could have put it off for another couple minutes. Well, you did a little tour shower.
No, because I told you, I said I want to be ready to go as soon as I get home.
And I did my part.
You certainly did. I just did not realize how disgusting it was going to be out today. And
yeah, no, it's pretty foul.
I came home right before clocking out so I could walk the dog and I could wash up a little bit. I mean, there was a
passed
layer.
John the street.
Did you?
I did.
There was a layer on me.
Yeah.
Of grime and sweat and
Is
just
it still
filth.
on you?
No.
Okay, well that's something.
Ugh.
Well,
but as evidenced by my, large amount of blue, I was just too lazy to change. And
well, at least we're being
to put a hat on because I didn't want anyone seeing my bald head. But
you look good bald.
Everyone keeps asking me, they're like, "Why did you shave your head?" It's too hot for hair right now.
Well, why not?
Yeah.
Because you're a sexy man. Because you're a sexy boy. I like it. Fuck everybody else. We have rules here.
We do.
Right? 3 rules. For the sake of civility, no judgment, nothing personal, and don't be a dick. What do you want to talk about?
What do I want to talk about? What do I want to talk about?
Are you stalling?
I'm fucking exhausted.
Well, then let's get to it. What do you want to talk about?
What do I want to talk about? I wanted to roll the die again this week, but then I thought, there's something that we may have, hinted at here and there, but something we could tackle today, which you and I are probably bound to disagree on, is
pizza.
Huh?
Late night pizza.
No, we've done pizza episodes before. Don't you criticize my pizza habits.
Your late night pizza habits.
There is nothing wrong with late night pizza.
All right.
Anyway, I think more pizza places should be open late at night, but
all right.
Anyway.
Well, we'll write letters.
We'll get estimates.
Yeah.
You have been a big advocate. Yes, you. Yes, for those who are listening, can't see you pointing at yourself. Way to break the fourth wall.
Fuck the fourth wall. Welcome into our
Don't be
home.
a dick. We have rules. There are rules for the sake of civility. And anyway, you have been a big proponent over the years of the importance of reading, of reading literature in physical form as an activity, as a means of acquiring knowledge, as a means of entertainment, a whole myriad of things. You have been an advocate, a proponent of
literacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the actual act of book reading.
Yes.
And while I find that admirable and noble,
don't call it stupid.
I would never call it stupid. Okay. If I haven't made it abundantly clear on this podcast already, I am not the most. The act itself is not something that I gravitate towards. I have read many books, start cover to cover, okay, but
outside of school,
okay. But it takes a lot for me personally to invest my attention and my will into a book of any kind to the point where, because most of your avid readers, as you know, as you have done, will get started and then not be able to put it down or not want to put it down until you're finished or until you've gotten to a satisfactory point in it to where you're okay putting it down until the next endeavor. I know I've been there, but again, it takes a certain kind of book.
That's one way of looking at it.
Now, do you think that reading in any other form takes away from the importance of reading, of literacy?
Yes.
Why?
Because audiobooks don't count.
I'm not talking about audiobooks.
Well, for those of you out there, audiobooks don't count.
I'm not talking about that, though.
Do I think that reading in any other way, what, like if you read a recipe, like that's supposed to qualify as reading?
No, like if you're going to do any sort of in-depth reading, just not in a tangible form. Man, not a tangible. Okay, I'm trying to.
You're talking about not in book form.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a fancy way of saying it.
There are different degrees of reading, I suppose. The actual act thereof is everywhere.
Right.
Like street signs.
Like you're advocating for reading comprehension,
I don't fucking
yes?
count street signs as reading. I don't count, scrolling through social media as reading. Like, I don't count those things. I'm sorry. Even if someone puts a really long caption on a photo, it's still not reading.
But we're talking reading comprehension, yes?
I'm talking about, yes, at length, reading text. I'm talking about the fact that, when I advocate for it, it is...
Why is it important to you?
Well, it's important to me because the same way that things that people love are important to them.
Explain. Elaborate.
I'm a nerd for books. I love books. I love the feel of them. I love turning the pages. I love the smell of them.
You love going to libraries and bookstores.
I love it. Even if I do nothing but pick a book up. You've seen me at Newbury Comics, which is misleading for anyone who's never been there. It's not just books, okay? It's not just comics.
Right.
But you've seen me pick up books that just have really nice binds. And I'm like, ooh. I'm like, yes. And I went through a stint where like I was either Barnes & Noble or Borders had like a series of classics that they put out with really nice binds. And I'm like, I already have all of these books in one form or another, but I need each of these because they're beautiful things to me. The same way
it's kind of like a sensation you get out of...
Yeah. And the accomplishment that I have always felt when it comes to finishing a book, it's a proud moment for me. I am not, dare I say, a strong reader.
Meaning what?
I am no good at reading quickly. And if I read quickly, I do not absorb anything.
Well, that's subjective, don't you think? Because, what you may think is quick, somebody might think is slow.
I also really cannot read to myself. I've never been able to. I remember being in high school and doing summer reading and having to pace my kitchen at my parents' house, reading out loud in order to understand what's going on. And you still think that I'm on the phone a lot of the time.
Well, because I don't
in another room reading a book to myself
if
out loud.
I make my way upstairs.
Dare I say reading it to the dog because she sits there and listens to me.
I see nothing wrong. But why is this hobby? Why is it important to you?
It's an accomplishment to me, and it's important to me for I cannot explain why it's important to me. You know how you wanted me to learn how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon?
Oh boy, am I glad you went there.
Because you enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you wanted me to be a part of that so that we could do it together.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The reason why I force everyone around me to just maybe try reading a book every once in a while is the same reason. Is I don't have a lot of people that I can talk to about books, okay? Not a lot of people that read the books that I want to read.
Have you ever been part of a book club?
Informally. Never a club. We just talk about books.
What's up with that?
What's up with what?
Book clubs.
It's so that people who enjoy reading as a hobby can talk about a book together.
Where do you find such things?
You can find them wherever you want.
Yeah? Can you find them at your local bookstore?
You can find them at your local library. You can probably find them at the bookstore too. Absolutely. It's like going to locals, but for books.
Listen, I have a very small amount of books on my bookshelf, but the ones that are there are ones that I could not put down. Okay. They're very few and far between, but there are books out there that I just can't put down until I finish because those are the gripping ones. And For me, I mean, I guess I could say the same thing. You know, why is it important to me? Because I, as I've told you many times, have always been a sucker for nonfiction. Always been a sucker for biographies.
I am as well.
I have vivid memories from being in elementary school, going to the library on Tuesdays, which was library day. There's my air quotes if nobody could see them. And bringing home, they had a whole section of biographies for little kids. And what got me started on this was that Dad was a big fan of A&E biography. I remember late at night after Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune were over, biography would come on.
My dad did the History Channel.
And and it didn't matter who was on, but he would just watch it and I'd be a fly on the wall. And I thought to myself, our school has biographies. I have to bring books home to read with my parents to show that I'm reading. So, and that became like our weekly ritual. We'd watch A&E biography, then we'd read a biography.
Yeah. I think a lot of kids right now, kids and teenagers right now, I think the reason why they don't enjoy reading is because, I mean, I've asked the boy directly. I said, does it feel like school? And he just goes, yep. And that's why they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it because
they feel forced.
They're not convinced that there's any way of getting enjoyment out of it. It's not entertaining.
Well, because I don't think a lot of people are, giving them ideas on how to make it enjoyable. Like just
like picking a book about something that you like.
Yeah, but you can't just say to a kid, like imagine if you were a kid and somebody said, go pick a book about something you like. Like that's a very, very broad statement. Like I would think it's really up to, if it's that important to the adult, they should be taking the extra step to be like, all right, how can I make this come across to the kid like it's a fun activity, like they'll get something out of it, instead of just being like, go find something you like.
That's why kids' books have pictures in them.
That's not the same. It's not the same as the person who is suggesting the activity of reading trying to make it so that the kid actually wants to do it, that the kid is excited about it. Part of the reason why I started making you custom cards was because I knew that even if I found, cutesy cards of things that you may like, animals and fairies and whatever else, things that I've seen, in your knickknacks here and there, it's not personable. Maybe if it were personable, you'd be more into it. So I started making cards with pictures of Sadie and pictures of Banky and pictures of things around the house and things that I thought would be important to you. Lo and behold, you now have yourself a custom deck of cards that have, significance.
Yes. In addition to the fact that you made them.
Can we not do that for children? Can we not, make it fun for them? I think we can, but, it's up to us to go that extra step.
Give me some examples.
Some examples. Okay.
Yes. So I mean, so far, getting kids into reading by giving them books on subjects they enjoy did not photograph. The books may still be there, but whether or not they've been cracked is a different story. Okay? Letting them pick out something has not photographed. Even with a comic book. Hasn't taken. So what other suggestions would you have as what I dare say, a non-reader, okay? Not derogatory in any way, not like you're illiterate, I'm not saying that. But like, what would you do since you don't like reading, you do not get enjoyment out of reading, how would you encourage a kid to get into it?
Help them seek out the literature that they're craving. Help put it in front of them. Help, because you can't, like I said, it's a totally different thing when you let a kid run amok in a library and say, go find something you enjoy, versus leading them to it or making it available to them. Now, when I was in school, I remember that we were forced to read all the standards, Catcher in the Rye, A Separate Piece, Scarlet Letter, Lord of the Flies, all of the standards. Night. In 8th grade, I remember reading Night.
Which I still think is really odd for 8th grade.
Actually,
of all times to be told to read it.
I was in 6th grade, actually.
That is even more uncomfortable.
Anyway, there's a big difference between the literature that's forced down our throats because it's supposed to, I don't know, I guess expand our minds, our intelligence, or, expose us to classic literature. Yeah. But again, if the desire is not there, then no student, myself included, is going to retain any sort of information that the teacher is banking on.
Okay.
All throughout that time, I was looking for biographies. I was looking for biographies on people that mattered to me. I was looking for nonfiction on historical events. I was looking for the literature with the information that I knew I was going to retain because that interested me.
Okay.
It wasn't my fault that in school we weren't, studying these sorts of things or committing them to memory.
Okay.
Because if we had, I would have excelled at all of it.
Now, let's take it out of school for a second. Summer. Why would a kid pick up a book?
Well, mainly because they're forced to, because every teacher assigns summer reading.
So how do you get into it if you don't want to?
If you don't want, again, it's something that has to be presented in an enticing manner. If it's not presented, kid, adult, doesn't matter. If it's not presented to another person in a manner in which is going to captivate them, it's not just reading, it's anything. If you can't entice somebody to do something, then they're not going to gravitate towards it. At least I don't think so. I certainly haven't.
But that's just it, is that, when I was a kid, I didn't have to be sold on it. Like, I would find fun titles. I would find fun illustrations or covers or something. We talked about this when it came to CDs and tapes and stuff, that sometimes we just bought them because we thought the cover was cool, so let's give it a shot.
I'm guilty of that as well. So what is your literature genesis? What is your leisurely reading genesis? Where did it start for you? Where did you start to do this for yourself?
When I was a kid, I remember, always enjoying story time at nursery school, at school, and everything like that. The teacher would literally just have everyone sit on the rug and they would read a book and they would show us the pictures. And I'm gonna let out a secret about myself. It turns out that as I got older, I definitively became a snob. I definitively became a know-it-all. I don't think I am a know-it-all, but I think that to a degree, I've always been a teacher's pet and everything. So as I got older, I became more and more interested in showing off that I could read and I could read well.
Let me guess, you were the one who always raised your hand for reading aloud in class.
Of course. Until...
Me too.
Until I got to high school. And then, given the books we were reading, I was like, who gives a shit?
But you wanted to show off that you could pronounce all the large words.
When I was in elementary school, we would go to the library once a week, right? Once a week, we'd go to the library. And at some point, I don't know what section it could have possibly been in, but I found, and I demanded that my mom get me a copy of this. Children's Shakespeare. It was and I've read this to you. It is a collection of Shakespeare plays turned into stories that are sort of, not dumbed down, but, sort of diluted into understandable stories.
Kind of like the Leo DiCaprio and Claire Danes Romeo and Juliet?
No. That is a totally different animal altogether. I'm talking about, instead of forsooth, Romeo and Juliet devised a plan to sneak off together. Like that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, I get
pictures, illustrated and everything. And it was not the complete works, but it was the major works of William Shakespeare. Romeo and Juliet, Julius Caesar, Hamlet, Macbeth.
Much Ado About Nothing.
Probably Much Ado About Nothing, Twelfth Night, Othello. All of these stories that everyone, is like, I don't know what the fuck is going on unless I watch the movie, diluted down into these essentially children's stories and a collection of them. And I found this book in the library. I must have been in probably 4th grade, if I had to guess.
They did that to
us.
3rd
or 4th grade.
In 4th grade.
And I found it. No, they didn't. Nobody did it to me.
I'll get to it in a minute. Go ahead. Continue.
So I took the book home and I was like, to my parents, please let me read this to you. Because I'd never been exposed to Shakespeare plays before. I'm a child, for crying out loud. But I was so impressed with how well I could read it and how well I understood it that it sparked me to be like, okay, what else can I read? And what
else are you capable of?
Yeah. It's like, what else can I do that'll really show off that I'm really good at this? And a lot of people, music, right? Playing musical instruments.
Once you know you can do something.
Once you know you can do it, and you know in your guts that you're good at it, you want to show it to people.
I think you just answered the question.
Well, to this day, I am not imposing it on anybody. Personally, I am not here to force books down people's throats. I know sometimes it seems like I am to you, to the kids and everything. But the reason why I'm doing it is because I truly do not believe anymore that school curricula includes reading.
So expose the kid to a book about Sonic the Hedgehog or, Minecraft, and then see how far he takes it. Because
he's been exposed to those things, though. I would love it if maybe he broadened his horizons a little bit.
Eventually he will. He's 7 years old.
You want to show him cartoons that are not Minecraft and Mikey and JJ and stuff like that, right?
Sure.
But he doesn't want to watch them.
No, and I'm not going to force him to.
But you do. You do put them on and you say, look at this, look at this, look at this. I get it.
So,
but I'm not about to force these things on anybody. Quite frankly, 20 years from now, if they have trouble reading something, I blame the schools. Because I do not believe anymore that the public school system gives a rat's ass about reading comprehension. I truly don't believe it anymore. I don't, I think that, taking the kids to the school library once a week, to me is not enough. It was one of those things that when we got old enough, when we were kids, when we were their age and we got old enough, we were taken to the library in town. Big motherfucker. And said, here's a library card. And then it was even cooler because now you had a card. It had your name on it and stuff. And it was like,
I still have my library card.
That's pretty cool.
But the thing is, eventually, out of necessity, they're going to have to learn because then they're going to realize there are going to be things they want to do or want to, to get into. And without having proper reading comprehension, they're not going to be able to.
Yeah.
Let's say they want to play a game or they want to, create something or they want to, let's say they want to go see a movie that has subtitles or something like that.
Yeah, right.
I'm trying to think of examples off the top of my head, but I'm just saying, there are going to be things eventually, or I can't think of
what I'm saying
anything crucial.
Is that I am not accusing anyone of being illiterate. I'm not accusing anyone of being illiterate, but I am accusing a lot of people for not encouraging beyond the scope of just mere literacy. I don't see what's so wrong with getting enjoyment out of sitting in silence and reading a book for hours on end. People do it with video games. What's wrong with me doing it with a book?
What's wrong with video games?
I didn't say there was anything wrong with video games.
I'm asking you.
But what I'm saying is that when a controller is pushed into my hand, like, hey, come here, let's play a game together, Why can I not do that with a book?
Nobody said you can't. Do you think it's not as valuable doing it in any other way?
Do I think it's not as valuable?
Like, for example, we have talked in length about how all of the cards that I play with have grown in texts, in text,
Yeah.
accumulation.
Yeah.
Is that not reading? Is that not, getting it in the same manner?
I don't think so.
Why?
Because where does it lead?
Well, it can lead to deductive reasoning. I mean, that's part of why things have gotten so convoluted.
But it's I would equate it to an extent with, if I had to equate it with something, I would say maybe a choose your own adventure book. Maybe.
I mean, that's just it. There is a lot of reading involved in this game now. Now, for those who don't know what we're talking about competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, not competitive, but Yu-Gi-Oh! In general. That's a game I've been playing since I was a teenager, and the text on the cards has grown exponentially, much to many people's frustration.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
and those of us who are blind also.
This, for those who can't see it, is an example of one of the original cards. It's called Pot of Greed.
Don't have to show me. I know what it looks like.
What does it do?
2 cards.
2 cards. That's how much text there used to be on these cards.
Show the people, not me. I know what it looks like.
That's how much text there used to be. And around the same time, this was the card with the most text on it. Most other cards didn't have anywhere close to this. But this card, at the time, in 2002, had that many lines. Okay? Now, as of about 5-6 years ago, if I can get my phone to... This became the card with the most text on it.
This doesn't help. I'm just gonna apologize because this is typically an audio medium. But yes, the Yu-Gi-Oh cards coming out today, the new formats and whatnot, have a lot of text because, and only because, they want you to have every option imaginable so that every card does 5 different things.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the only reason why there's that much text on there. That's a problem with the format. This is not, this is like, again, if I were to say, I read Julius Caesar last night, and somebody said, well, I have the Cliff Notes. And it's like, it's the same story. You get the same basic premise, but the play has more words and it has harder language and everything. They tell the same fucking story.
Well, this certainly has more words and harder language. Words,
but that's just it. Is that all it is because it does different things.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I'm not going to say, yeah, you're reading the equivalent of a book.
I'm not saying I'm reading the equivalent of a book, but am I not getting as much value out of it? Because it's not a book?
You are.
I am what?
You are getting value out of it. I would not.
Why?
Because it doesn't pique that level of interest in me. It doesn't spark my imagination at all. Does it spark your imagination?
I mean,
it sparks your deductive reasoning, and it sparks your strategizing. What about your imagination?
Well, it depends on what I'm using. I gravitate towards the archetypes that are of interest to me. Modern cards of those archetypes have that much text, if not more, on them now.
But what does it do for your imagination?
It scatters the imagination.
What does it do for your imagination?
It was tried upon by Solomon, or even Nebuchadnezzar.
What does it do for your imagination?
It sparks endless possibilities. I mean, that's just it. You've seen what I like to play, okay? And I tried showing you how to use the deck that I use, and there's a million different things to read and a million different things to try and understand. It's still reading nonetheless, is it not?
It's literacy.
See, it feels like you're cheapening it.
No, it's okay. When I read a book, it doesn't matter how big, how long, how old, how boring, whatever, right? When I read something, it will typically pique my interest.
Mm-hmm.
It will engage my imagination.
Mm-hmm.
It will oftentimes engage my emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And that is because I am drawn to the medium. Period. I am not going to belittle anyone else's
medium.
I'm not going to do that. And that's not what I'm doing. But you want me to equate reading, what? Helter Skelter with playing, dragons? Like, it's apples and oranges. I'm not saying that you're not reading, but am I, it's like, for example, if I were to read a BuzzFeed article, that's different from reading the New York Times.
Yeah.
That's different, right?
You're still reading.
I'm not saying you're not reading. I'm saying it's different, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't deny that. So when you say, even when you compare books to books.
But is your goal to encourage kids to read or to read books?
To read books.
Why?
Because I believe that it helps to develop certain aspects of your knowledge and your imagination.
And if they take your suggestion and they get nothing out of it, then what?
Well, then shit on my grave, I guess. Like, I don't fucking know. If they don't get anything out of it, I appreciate the fact that at least they gave it a shot. I mean, when you cook something,
mm-hmm.
and don't you ask everyone to try it?
Yeah.
And when they don't, like me,
like last night.
Well, you made pork, and I don't eat pork, so
you
that one that one was on you. All right. And, if nobody...
I still made your chicken.
If nobody even wants to try it, right?
Yeah.
Don't you get a little... All right, fine.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with me in books. I try and get the people that I care about and the people that I am around, I try and get them to do things that maybe I would enjoy so that we can all do it together. Maybe we'll find some common ground. Maybe it's something that we can do together. For example, you and Oliver can play music together, right? You want to teach the boys how to do stuff that you're into so that maybe they'll get into it too. I just spit everywhere. I'm sorry.
And everyone saw you.
Sorry. But these are the things, that's just it, is that you're not necessarily letting them choose everything, because to a degree, you want them to enjoy the things that you enjoy so that you can do it with them, so that it's something you can do together. Mm-hmm. I encourage them to read because that's what I enjoy doing. And I would love to eventually see little people doing things that I enjoy. But I accept the fact that there's a possibility it's never going to fucking happen. The other day, I not only introduced the boy to the graphic novels and everything, he couldn't be fucked. They're graphic novels. They're essentially pictures.
But again, it's not subject matter that piques his interest.
And that's why I said, go find something. Then I have this whole bin of children's books that I had when I was a kid. You give him toys that you played with when you were a kid, so I bring books that I had when I was a kid. It's a shot in the dark. I'm not trying to foist it on anybody. And, every once in a while, I put my foot down and I'm like, please, let's do something that I want to do. But I accept the fact that they probably are miserable the entire time. I accept it. Same thing when I'm reading out loud. If you're in the room, I just presume that I'm bothering you, to be perfectly honest. I know that you're too nice to say anything. But that's just it, is that, again, you said you made me my deck, and they're simple cards that I have a connection with.
Right.
Yes. And you and I have read books together that you have a connection with so that we can share those experiences.
Right.
But I'm not poo-pooing the idea that you're reading. I still think you're reading, but I think that it's apples and oranges.
You just jumped all over the place in the last 2 minutes.
Welcome to the way that my brain works.
So don't you think it would behoove all of us if you...
Me personally?
Yeah, sure. If you presented your idea to the boy in a different manner, if you addressed it differently.
For example?
For example, you're putting graphic novels that are of interest to you in front of him, and he couldn't care less. don't you think you should be putting something in front of him that you think he would like?
I have told him to go to the shelf and
look and
see.
Him.
Okay, why don't we drag his tiny ass to the library one of these days and let him run fucking free? Because all I can put in front of him are the things that I have, babe. Same thing I can do to you. I can only offer what's in my ability to offer.
Why are you freaking out?
Because you are upsetting me right now. You're backing me into a corner.
I'm not backing you into a corner at all.
Like, I would be glad. Take him to the mall. Next time we go to the mall, let's go to Newberry Comics and be like, fuck the toys, look at the books. So many books. So many goddamn books. Take him to Barnes & Noble.
He was there yesterday.
Yeah, and he couldn't give a rat's fucking shit about it.
Because we didn't put any books in front of him that may have been of interest.
But there is no we in that case, babe.
How is there no we?
Because I am the book lady. You are not. I don't see you playing book lady. Do you?
I've put books in front of him, but again, they're not of interest to him. If I saw something I thought he'd like, I'd put it in front of him.
I've asked him directly. I'm just like, here's this. Would you like this if I got this for you? Yes. And then seems to forget all about it when I actually put it in front of him. That's why I got him those dinosaur coloring books and stuff like that. And he's like, ugh,
what can I
where's
say?
Minecraft?
He's his father's son, but if that tells you anything, that it's eventually he will pick up some books.
That's fine. I believe that your original question was, why is it important to me? Because it is. Because it's something that I've always had a very big spot in my heart for. And I know that there are smart kids out there. There are smart kids in here. There are kids who, if they stopped giving a fuck about what all of their friends are doing for a hot second, maybe they would enjoy something else. And like you said, how are they going to know if we don't present it to them?
Using my words against me.
I'm not shitting on the types of reading. I'm not shitting on it at all. I believe that any form of it is important to the development of your intelligence and your girth of knowledge. I almost said dearth of knowledge, but that's not right. Excuse me. But the reason why I'm so adamant about it is because I am truly, and maybe it's just because of the way I grew up, maybe it's because of my teaching background, maybe it's because of, all of the things that have always been important to me. It's just something that I cannot tolerate when I see young people and people my own age who
doing this.
Yeah. On one screen or a fucking other.
Now, what's wrong with that? What's so bad about that?
Nothing, but I don't want to do it.
What if they're reading Shakespeare?
God bless them.
On a device.
I read on devices.
I know you read on devices.
I read books on devices.
No, I know.
Like, I don't care about that. But
what do you care
this
about?
is not how you read on your phone.
Me or people?
That's how you scroll TikTok.
Yeah.
Okay?
No, when I'm
I'm talking about, like when I see people who are like, I'm bored.
But there have been a lot of times where I've been sitting there reading something on my phone, not just scrolling.
Yeah.
And you will say something to me and then kind of give me like a, because I couldn't repeat back to you whatever it was you said, or I wasn't paying attention. It's like, well, I was in the middle of something. I was actually trying to focus on whatever it was I was reading.
Okay.
Is that a problem?
That you're in the middle of something and you couldn't do two things at once? No.
But that's what I'm saying. But you said earlier that you don't hold it against anybody for reading in a different medium, right?
Correct.
Okay. So what difference does it make if they read it in a tangible book or...
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
That wasn't my point.
What was your point?
My point was that we are privy to young people who cannot eat and watch TV at the same time.
You haven't eaten yet.
They don't have the goddamn attention span to do two basic human things at the same time.
You think reading is going to help that?
Maybe turning off every once in a while and being like, yeah, focus on one thing. What's so wrong with that? And I don't care if I end up being the evil whatever, the evil stepmother or the bad teacher or whatever who forces kids to read a book every now and then. I don't care. Because so be it. Somebody should. I'm grateful to anyone who, I've had people offer me books. Oh, I'm done with this. Do you want to read it? Oh, I know you love to read. I got you this book. All things that I could not give a rat's ass about, but I appreciate that someone recognizes that this is something that I enjoy. They didn't do it right, but they recognize that it's something that I enjoy. What I don't have any tolerance for at this point in my life is people who insist, well, I just don't like it. It's like, what don't you like about it? Well, it's just so boring. It's like, then read something more interesting. Read something that's more interesting to you. I don't want to. So you don't have a problem staring at a TV or your phone or a tablet, but for some reason staring at a book is just like, nobody has any reasons. They have no, to me, rational excuses.
Well, a bad experience isn't going to make anyone in a hurry to go and do it again.
Well, a bad experience of what? A
bad experience of, they
picked up a book that turned out they didn't like?
Yeah.
So you think that the next book is just they're convinced in their own minds that the next time they pick up a book, it's going to be another one they don't like?
If you go to see a movie in a series of something that you didn't like, are you going to be in a hurry to see the sequel?
Well, I saw all of the Star Wars sequels first night, so I'm probably not the best audience for that question. I'm just saying that I think that the excuses for not reading books are kind of half-assed.
That's a pretty broad statement, though.
I think that it's a little half-assed. People say reading is boring.
I
don't like it. Oh, well, I'll read books, but only if it's an audiobook. That's not reading a book. That's listening to a book.
Listen, in my defense...
That is the same thing as watching TV.
In my defense, I drive a truck all day long. So and mind you, I can't remember the last time before this most recent one that I listened to an audiobook.
Yeah.
Can't remember.
When was this last time that you listened to an audiobook?
When I listened to the Gene Simmons book.
Oh, that's right.
Because, again, I drive a truck for 6 hours a day. I can't put my face in the physical book.
Which is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Which is perfectly fine. You consumed that book.
And it was a good book.
Well, that's good. Now, would that encourage you to perhaps go to another one?
Another what?
Another book by, another book about the band, or maybe a band of that era, or maybe a book written by Gene Simmons.
Sure.
Because you had a good experience with that.
Yeah.
And if you didn't like it, would you just say, I'm off books?
Off books? No, but I'd be off, reading for a while. It's not my go-to activity. It's just not.
Which is fine.
We were talking earlier about, what do our favorite things to do for us? Like, what do they do for our imaginations?
Yeah.
It's first of all, because I don't read a lot of fiction, there's not a lot of imagination going on when it comes to nonfiction. It's like, these are about true real life events and things and people that happen.
Yeah.
So, that is done in an effort to learn about the things that, transpire.
But the things that you are learning about, were you already interested in them?
Yes.
Or did reading about them spark an interest in it?
The first one.
The first one.
Yeah.
See, and I can go both ways.
Oh boy.
Like, watch it. I have always been interested. I love nonfiction. I love nonfiction way more than fiction. Most of the fiction that I read is at least 150 years old. I don't like anything
you
really
just
that
wanted
was.
To say that.
I don't like things written in the 20th century and especially the 21st century. To all of you who love it and everything, God bless. But like, for me, like, I have an affinity. I have a gravitational pull to stories about cults.
Oh boy.
I find them so fascinating.
See, now I have a distaste for fiction and fantasy in particular. Like, people are enamored with the Harry Potter series, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, Game of Thrones. I didn't watch any of the Harry Potter movies ever until we watched them, however long ago that was.
It was a couple of years.
Oh, that was a couple months ago.
It must have been Christmas.
Yeah. And I caught bits and pieces here and there, and I got invested at certain times. But again, like, you're never going to get me to sit down and read those books.
Which is fine.
Because I don't have any interest in kids and wizards. And, like...
And it's fine.
It's... The idea of sitting there and taking in that whole story, like so many other people have done, seems mundane to me.
And that's fine.
I would rather, if I'm going to sit and read a long book about something of the same subject matter, I would prefer a different intellectual property, a different character set, so to speak. Which
is fine. And here's the thing. I am not actively and maliciously trying to shame anyone who does not want to read in general, or even does not appreciate, that I do. I am assertively trying to defend myself because, quite frankly, I find it kind of repugnant that people who think reading is boring don't find any reason to hold that opinion back. Like if you were to tell me something that you really enjoy doing and I were like, ugh, boring.
Well, if you look historically, like that has always been the stereotype of the unpopular person, and that's always been associated with it.
Yeah,
and it became a stigma.
Well, oh fucking well.
Like, no, I'm just saying that's.
But that's just it. That's why I'm convinced that nobody wants to anymore. Nobody wants to, because it's just like, oh, poor, lonely person sitting alone reading and everything. And it's just like, I know
they're having the time of their life.
I know plenty of people who will literally tell you, be like, please leave me alone because I am diving face first into this book. I think that it is a shame that more people, especially younger people, won't try to enjoy it.
Do you think it's a mistake for school teachers to impose on their students, on their class, that they are all to read the same book and then report on them?
That is an unfortunate side effect of bureaucracy that's not on the teachers.
Okay, but do you think that's a mistake to do?
Yes.
Now, do you think they would be better off if classes were left to choose their own books and then report individually on...
Yes, I believe that the reasons why public schools in particular, I'm just going to go delve into my files of knowledge here for a second, and my experiences with public school bureaucracy. The reason why curricula have all of these books, the reasons why we all read the same books when we were in high school, is because we are supposed to be learning lessons. We're supposed to be learning the tropes, the themes, the character structure, etc., etc. That's why everyone reads the same 4 Shakespeare plays in their life. That's why everyone reads Lord of the Flies, Animal Farm,
1984.
To Kill a Mockingbird, and things like that, okay? What they're doing wrong is they're saying, well, this book has all of that. Everybody read it. Instead of saying, we need to learn about, pre-civil rights. That's why we read To Kill a Mockingbird, right? Mm-hmm. We learn about what it was like pre-civil rights from the perspective of a Black woman. Okay? And so we're reading this story to gain perspective, to learn something, to learn the theme of, standing up for someone and the tenets of things that were going on at that time in our history. Why not instead come up with a short list of books to choose from? Books that the teacher has read, right? That understands the basic story arcs of all of these books, and let the kids choose which one they want to talk about, which one they want to learn from instead of that. Now, to a greater extent, just letting them go free and just have it be a free-for-all and be like, I'm going to just pick a book and report on it. It's like, okay, but it has to have these themes in it. And I think for the sake of time management, letting a kid just pick their own book and hoping that it has that theme in it, I think is a stretch. And I think you may end up with some book reports that are not quite on task. But, I went off the hinges when it came to American Psycho for the latter half of my high school career and the majority of my undergraduate study. And I used it on several occasions to demonstrate certain ideas and certain theme points and everything like that. And the idea of modern satire, et cetera, and everything. And I went nuts on this thing because it was my go-to. But that's because I was left to my own devices, and I knew that this book, I knew it inside and out, and I knew that this will fit the bill. If kids don't know that, I feel like teachers need to, just create a short list. But do I think that it's a failure on the part of the schools to be like, everybody read a separate piece? Yeah. Everybody read Old Man and the Sea? Why? Ugh. I'm
sorry, Mrs. G, you lost me a long time ago. This got so boring.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm kidding. Or am I?
But yeah, I don't think it's necessary to say that people who don't read are missing out, because I don't necessarily think they are. They're getting the jollies somewhere else. But I do think that it's a shame that more people are not encouraged to try and enjoy it. Again,
different delivery.
Yeah.
I've said this to many, many people over the years who don't seem to be able to get their points across. It has nothing to do with reading. It just has to do with trying to get people to do what they want to do. It's like, maybe your delivery is the problem.
Maybe.
Maybe you could try approaching it in a different manner, and maybe it'll yield different results.
But there's no deadline. There's no expiration date on it and everything. So you can keep trying always, in any way, at any time and everything. And eventually, it could be 40 years down the road. It might catch on. And I look forward to being there when it does.
This was a good talk.
Thank you for allowing me to monopolize this one. As you can tell, I am very...
Yep, it was a Jess episode.
I was very passionate about it. But thank you for wanting to talk about me, I guess.
I didn't want to. This was fucking boring. Are you kidding? No.
Shut up. Oh, but thank you out there in podcast land for listening. This was a good one. Please check us out on social media, DT Andy and JJ Star with 2 R's. I'm
spinning the wheel next time.
We are on Instagram. We are on YouTube. We are on TikTok. Please find us. Also, go to our website, thattalkingpodcast.buzzsprout.com. And you can send us a text. You can also do it from Apple Podcasts and let us know about things you want to talk about, things you want us to talk about, books you've read recently, and things of that nature. And you can become a supporter of the show for as little as $3 a month. Give us your money so we can keep doing this shit. And find Tax Collectors and Harlots on Instagram, Coat of Arms Tattoo, and Love Heart Art. You have something coming up.
Yeah, we finally got the dates for Rat's Nest.
Woo!
Thursday, August 14th, East Durham, New York at the Blackthorn Resort. We are on at 3:30.
3:30.
Friday, the August 15th, we are on at 2.
2.
And then Saturday the 16th and Sunday the 17th, we are on at noon.
4 days.
4 days.
4 days in bumfuck New York.
I wonder if those geese are still there.
Oh, God. I wonder if they put locks on the hotel room doors yet. That work.
At the Bates Motel.
The Bates Motel. God bless. But yeah, don't forget that. And do you have another show? You have a show?
I don't know if it's set in stone yet or not.
Okay.
We'll
let you know.
Yeah, maybe July 18th at the Cellar, and maybe one other one. I don't know.
Well, we'll get
when I know, you will know.
Exactly. And that's a wrap from the three of us at That Talking Podcast. I'm JJ Starr.
And I'm Downtown Andy.
We'll talk to you later.